Hello YouTube, and welcome to another video, and welcome to my channel, The Art of Perfumery. I'm gonna bring you now top 10 great fragrances for the cold winter. So if you like heavy hitters, if you like heavy fragrances, this video is for you. They are great fragrances that work wonders for me. So without further ado, let's go right into the video. Let's go. Okay, starting my list with my number 10. My number 10 is also my dumb rich, because this is the fragrance that when I don't have time or when I don't know what to wear, I will pick this fragrance. I'm talking about Uomo signature from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo. The good thing about this fragrance, this was released in 2018 and nobody talks about this fragrance, but this is a great fragrance. It's a leather fragrance, but it's very easy to wear. The leather here is not for leather lovers. The leather here is a very calm leather. It's a very powdery, it's a very polished leather. Reminds me a lot the leather in Valentino Uomo Intense. The fragrance is very powdery, like I said, because it has a lot of vanilla, has a touch of coffee, has some spices as well, cardamom. It has some cinnamon as well. Very nice fragrance, perfect signature for the winter, perfect for close encounters as well, because the fragrance don't jump out of your skin. Absolutely gorgeous scent to go to the cinema, to go to a nice restaurant. Perfect dumb rich, signature worthy, Ferragamo signature. And next on my list, coming from a brand new house. Actually, this house was created in 2020 from the house of Zilli. Very nice. I own actually 3 fragrances from this house. This is Cuir Imperial. That's another fragrance, another leather-based fragrance. Very nice, has a kind of unique smell. And like Ferragamo Uomo signature, this is another leather fragrance. The leather here is also powdery as well, but I'd say this also is not a leather for leather lovers. Now this leather is also powdery. The fragrance also has a ton of cardamom. It's a very sexy fragrance. This actually would be, I would say, a grown-up version of the first fragrance that I presented. Now the fragrances, they kind of have some similarities, but Cuir Imperial, I'd say, is a bit more mature, is a bit more sophisticated, is a bit more woodsy as well. I get a lot of woods in this fragrance. The performance on this fragrance is absolutely insane. Very nice fragrance. Definitely Zilli. The Zilli house is a house worth checking. Very nice fragrance on my 9th position. And my 8th position is also another leather-based fragrance. Believe it or not, there's a lot of leather in this list. This fragrance is a little bit controversial, especially regarding the leather of this fragrance. I'm talking about Hugo Boss Bottle Parfum. Definitely not everybody's cup of tea. I absolutely love this fragrance for one reason and one reason only. I think this is very well blended, and the fragrance has no sweetness at all, which is very rare. It has a kind of a powdery leather, but the leather here is a bit more aggressive, is a bit more animalic than the 2 fragrances that I mentioned before. Hugo Boss called this leather vegetal leather, which is very nice. It has some green nuances to it as well. It's a little bit more sharp, it's a little bit more challenging, it's a bit more animalic, but it works wonder, especially in formal settings. Absolutely gorgeous scent. Believe it or not, it actually garners me compliments. And my 7th position goes to another crowd pleaser, but this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. Coming from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, I'm talking about Male Le Parfum. And I have to say, if you like Le Male Original from 1995, you're gonna love this fragrance, because this fragrance has the same qualities as the original Le Male. The DNA is here, but this fragrance has a touch of Irish. In my opinion, it changes the game, it changes everything, even though it's just a touch of Irish. But the Irish in this fragrance makes this fragrance so much smoother. It takes away that old school sharp vibe of the original. It takes away that mint. It's very nice. So if you like the original Le Male, you're gonna fall in love with this fragrance, because this is more mature, is nicer, the performance is better. It's definitely a better fragrance. We are now down to my 6th position, and my 6th position goes to the house of Lattafa. I'm talking about this time Oud for Glory, that comes in this beautiful, beautiful bottle. Absolutely gorgeous, super heavy, and the fragrance works so well on my skin. It goes so well with the chemistry on my skin. This is absolutely very nice. This fragrance is basically the combo Oud Saffron, but it's very different than the other fragrances around. I know this is a clone of another fragrance, but that fragrance is too expensive, so this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. This fragrance is sweet without being overly sweet. It's smoky without being overly smoky. On my skin, the fragrance smells like a forest after the rain. You have that hot coal, wet and hot coal, if you know what I mean. Absolutely gorgeous. It's so cozy. The performance on this fragrance is great on my skin without being too loud, so it doesn't bother people. Absolutely gorgeous. I get a lot of compliments with this fragrance because this smells actually way more expensive than it actually cost me. Number 5 on my list come from the house of Maison Margiela. This time I'm talking about By the Fireplace, and catching up what I said about coziness, about comfort. This fragrance is one of the most comfortable, one of the most cozy, feel-good fragrances that I have in my collection. Absolutely lovely for the winter. The fragrance, it smells like chestnuts, like burning chestnuts, like roasted chestnuts in an open fire. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely well blended, very nice. And what I like the most about this fragrance is that during the day I get whiffs of the roasted chestnuts. I got whiffs of this smoke, one of the best smokes in the game. Absolutely gorgeous. It's sweet, it's gourmandish, one of the best fragrances for winter that you can ever buy. Trust me, you have to try that fragrance. Number 4 on my list is another fragrance coming from the house of Hugo Boss. This time I'm talking about Boss Bottle Elixir. What a fragrance. This is one of the best releases from the house. This is actually one of the most oriental fragrances from the house of Hugo Boss. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. I love the incense of this fragrance. Right off the bat, when I apply the fragrance, I get this incense smell. The incense here is it smells like an old incense. It smells like almost like a medieval religious incense. Very nice. The dry down in this fragrance is very woodsy, very oriental, very balsamic as well. I get a lot of resins. I get a touch of vetiver, patchouli, woods. Gorgeous fragrance. You need to try if you're into Middle Eastern, if you're into incense, resins combo. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. So Hugo Boss is actually surprising me with his late releases. Next on my list, occupying my 3rd position, this time it comes from the house of Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum. And like I said on my review, what was good, almost perfect, has gotten even better, because this fragrance is even better than the Eau de Parfum version. This fragrance is a step ahead of the Eau de Parfum version because this fragrance is more well balanced. I would say it's better blended. The blend here is better. The fragrance is a bit smoother as well because of the iris accord in this fragrance. The leather in this fragrance is one of the best in the game. It's super realistic, but it's super animalic as well, and the iris actually balances the leather in this fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. So this time now, if you're a leather lover, you need to try this fragrance. We are now down to the number 2 on my list, and this one goes again to a new release from the house of Lattafa, one of the newer releases. This time I'm talking about Khamrah Qahwa. What a beautiful fragrance. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is the fragrance that I'm gonna wear for Christmas because this fragrance smells just like Christmas. It's spicy, it's fruity, it's a bit nutty. You have caramel in this fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. This is the kind of fragrance that you have to have a sweet tooth to like it, because this thing is so sweet. But the good thing about this fragrance, this is so well blended as well. It's so complex that it's even hard to believe that it came from Lattafa. No joke now, guys. This fragrance is super complex, is absolutely beautiful. I get a very spicy caramelized vanilla in this fragrance. I have a lot of cinnamon. I have a touch of coffee as well. A lot of people complain that they don't get coffee in this fragrance. I get coffee in this fragrance from the moment I apply until the whole life of this fragrance. This is absolutely gorgeous. I would say this is almost like a mix of Pure Tonka, By the Fireplace, and also Valentino Uomo as well. So if you like them 3 fragrances, imagine them 3 fragrances combined in one: fruity, you have resins, you have caramel, you have spices. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Like I said, smells like Christmas. And we are now down to the number one of my list, the fragrance that's gonna occupy the number one spot on my winter list. Should be no surprise to anyone. If you watch my videos, you know how much I love this fragrance. I'm talking about Sauvage Elixir, this heavy hitter. This fragrance is absolutely a must for the winter. It's very dark, it's very spicy composition. On my skin, it's funny the way this fragrance changes from skin to skin. I smell this fragrance in someone else's skin, but on my skin the main note is the licorice and the spices as well. I get a lot of nutmeg, especially the nutmeg, the cinnamon, I get cardamom as well, and of course I get the resins as well. Very nice, very resinous potion. This fragrance, it will get you compliments because this is intriguing, this is mysterious. I have nothing on my collection that smells like it. So this is very unique as well. And the most of all, this fragrance performs literally for days. It's absolutely a heavy hitter. If you didn't try it, you have to try this fragrance if you're into resinous, spicy fragrances. Absolutely gorgeous. Smells nothing like the previous Sauvages. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't cost you anything. And never forget that I'm Mark Lacerda. And of course, I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.